Yes, fellow African, once again we are here to speak about African unity based on the mandate we have received from the Divine Masters. And we would once again like to use this opportunity to give you a definition of what divine mandate means from our own point of view and from our own experience with the spiritual world. A divine mandate is a decision taken by the Divine Masters that has to be carried out irrespective of human opinion to it. This means that it's not waiting for anybody to approve it. No. It has to be done because we believe in God, and then whatever God decrees must take effect because He is the owner. He never inquired from anybody to come and create the world. So nobody will tell Him what to do. Once a decree comes from God, it has to be carried out according to the way it is meant to be. So, our organization called the People's Movement for African Unity, in our quest to build a new Africa, we know that it's not just building Africa is not just a political issue, but it is mainly political because a lot of responsibility has been given to the political side of life, because the politics have to establish different conditions that can allow things to flourish. But we also want to use this opportunity to tell you that we have another organization, a sister organization, called the Grand Assembly of Africa, which is responsible for building the social cohesion and the belief system that Africans will have to live with. It's part of our spirituality. It's going to be a spiritual organization because anything a people does, human being himself is a spiritual being, despite the fact that a lot of people see themselves from the flesh. The human being is a spiritual and immortal being. So in everything he does, he must acknowledge spiritual powers. He must always connect himself to the spiritual world, to God, for blessings. And beside the need of connecting to the spiritual power, a people must have a belief system. It is the belief system that they use to identify one another, to respect one another, to live in peace, in harmony, to correct one another when they are in mistake. And from there, it will help them to reject what is rejectable in their life and accept what is acceptable in their life, whether within themselves or from people from outside. When they see this thing does not resonate with what they want, it is the belief system that tells them, no, we can't take this because it doesn't go well with us. Please, we thank you for your own effort, but we don't like this. It's from there that the people lives. We see it everywhere in the world. So today, the duty of the Grand Assembly of Africa is to build socio-cultural cohesion, belief system, and the spiritual harmony of the people of Africa. Because when we talk about belief system, all ethnic groups have their own belief system. Even though we Africans are one, we take for example the way we marry wife, which in South Africa we call lobola, or in English language we call dowry. When you come to most people in the southern region, their culture is based always on how many cows you bring. But you can go to the Igbo people of Nigeria and find out the way they pay that lobola is different. That makes their own belief system. And the one for South Africa or Zimbabwe paying with cows makes their own belief system. You can go to Kenya and find out that their own way of marrying a wife and paying that dowry is different. You can go to Senegal and find their own way of doing it. It's a little bit different. But what matters is that they have to do something when they are getting married. That is the belief system. Today, I want to tell you that there is no belief system, there is no difference between belief system and the spirituality that guides the people. Because everything we agree and carry about is accepted. As long as they are good, they are accepted as part of our identity in the spiritual world. It's not everything that the spiritual world imposes on us. There are areas of free will. When we sit down and talk about doing this in a certain way to respect the laws of God or the laws of morality. And then those things are fine, it conforms. Then it is acceptable as part of our identity in the spiritual world. So it's not everything God imposed on us. So when we stand here and talking about spirituality, we want to, though spirituality has been existing on tribal level, but now that our life is heading to continental, wider level, we have to build that spirituality to conform with the international level, with the continental level, not just tribalistic. And we will use it as a means of teaching our people how to live, to respect one another, so we don't have social conflict. So when you come from Nigeria, you want to come and marry a woman from the Zulu nation, they tell you, no, to marry our woman, you must have one cow. Or in the place where you don't have a cow, this is the alternative. You must know that and respect it. Don't come and bring your own thing from the Hausa people of Nigeria and say, no, this is how we marry women in Hausa. Then you are wrong. You have to respect the Zulu lady because she attracts your love. And when you are coming from Congo, you go to marry a woman from Rwanda and find out their own is a little bit different. You can't come to impose. No, respect those people because the lady managed to attract your love. So that's what we call a belief system. I don't want to go too deep into it, but from here you can understand that a belief system is something that people live with, something that people accept to live with. It becomes their guideline. And when the people have that very thing as a guideline, they don't even need police or lockups because it will be ingrained and accepted in the mind. They will accept it. It is at the absence of the belief system that makes Africa what it is today. The evil we are seeing there. A lot of our people are in prison because of they do things that they don't understand. Things that have been imposed in us is something that we really do not understand. We don't like it, but it is imposed on us. So a belief system becomes a law which is ingrained in the mind of every person. From childhood, he grew up seeing his father doing that, seeing his mother doing that. He grew up with it, and he does not need a lawyer or a policeman to come and tell him how to live. Before the coming of white men, we didn't have police here or lockups the way we are having today, a commercialized justice system. But we are living in peace. We are more in peace within ourselves than now that we think we are borrowing from the European world, who come to define their stupid life, equate it with what we have here. Our women were much more obedient and submissive to the men. The men know their responsibility. In cases where they don't have the ability to carry on their responsibility, their brothers or sisters or friends assist them. But now, what has been coming to put in Africa is individualism. You can even have your wife sick or your child is dying. No sympathy. In such a situation, you are unable to pay your rent. You will see both your wife and your child and your bed and your clothes, everything on the street. That's not what makes up an Africa. Today, most of the things before we do something, we want to write agreement. Those days, black men don't write agreement on paper because they know what is right. It's because the Europeans are liars. They are not trustworthy. They don't even trust each other. That's why they want to put everything right in, because they deny everything you say. A black man was never a creature like that. We know what is correct. We do it on ourselves. We don't go to court. When we have a small disagreement, we get an elderly person who tell us one or two things and try to help us in solving it, and then that's fine. We don't have to go and spend money in the court of law. But those things are happening because we don't have a belief system. So it is time to build that very belief system to grow on a continental level. It's already there, existing everywhere. And that belief system is there because our forefathers, our ancestors, our forefathers were able to give us a righteous tradition. The tradition they gave us in Africa don't need amendment. They are all correct. They are wise men in the ancient time. They give us nice things to do, how to live. They give us a guideline. They are correct. The only thing we need today is to modernize it to suit the modern world. But they don't need to be removed. Our cultures are fine. Our moral traditions are fine. Everything is fine in Africa. We don't need Christianity here to come and tell us. We don't need Islam. We don't need Judaism. We don't need Buddhism. We don't need Confucianism. There is nothing we need from outside that Africa don't have. And besides that, almost everything that make up the Bible you are reading today comes from Africa. So those who come and handle Bible as if it's their own property, coming to tell us about morality, they should think twice. But it's time to regain those things. Because one beautiful thing with God is that when He delegates a knowledge for people to live with, it will never get lost. No matter how you try to placate it or cover it so that people mustn't know, you can never hide the truth. God Himself knows how to inspire that very truth into the mind of His agents from generation to generation, who will gradually restore that very truth to where it belongs. So the Grand Assembly of Africa is where we are going to build our belief system. It will be like there is no need talking about it now. When it starts, then people will gradually understand it. We have to build our morality back. We have to build our customs, our cultures back, and ensure that we are living a good life as a people. That also will be working under the supervision of the People's Movement for African Unity. But it is called the Grand Assembly of Africa. It will have its activities in what we call the Temple of Harmony. Remember what I said, Temple of Harmony. The temple, many people have understood it in diverse ways. Temple of Harmony is a place where a people goes to grab the knowledge and the spirituality that will help them to live in harmony with one another. That's why we call it the Temple of Harmony. It's a means of bringing back Africa's ancient spirituality to help us to live, because religion has been corrupted. Religion is a product of the Roman world. And as soon as the Roman empires and all their legacies are dying across the world, religion will die following it. But spirituality is a divine principle delegated for the well-being of mankind. You can never kill that thing. Spirituality is different from religion. What religious people want is they want to get followers. They don't give you knowledge. For example, if a pastor of a church knows that going to church is important, let him close his own church and go to another church. That means if all pastors are going to close their church and go to another church, you find out that church does not exist. That's religion for you. Because every pastor or every religious figure see himself as the man who is closer to God, who will tell you God. No. Nobody has the... God is your father. You have rights to approach him straight. You can tap into God anytime you want. If you have the right discipline, the right morality, God can expose you to any great knowledge. Anytime. You don't need religious leader. You don't need pastor. The only thing pastors are doing or religious leaders are doing is to have you as their own follower. They will not give you the knowledge. Because once you know what they know, you can no longer be their followers. But they want you to be their follower. That's what they're interested in. Not to give you knowledge. They have to keep you blind so that you must follow them and be their follower and worship them and do what they do. No, the new Africa do not acknowledge that. Of course, we have advanced men who are called priests, but they don't claim those things that pastors are claiming. It's not part of our life. We have native priests here in Africa, in different African traditions, carrying their own thing. Those things will gradually bring it back. And for those who think that African traditions are evil, they are making a mistake. There is no such thing as evil within the African tradition. It's a level of spirituality that was delegated to them during their own time. Of course, under different systems, some of the things can be corrupted or misinterpreted. But as time goes on, like I said, some of our practices will have to be modernized to suit the latest evolution that God has brought for the children of men. That does not mean that what was being done 3, 4, 1,000 years ago is an evil. It's not an evil. It was the level of spirituality and understanding that was delegated to them. Remember, the world is always under evolution. I give you one example from even your skin. Go and take a video of a World Cup that was played in 1950s. Watch the texture of the skin of the people and their face and see how it is, and compare it with the one that was played in 2018. Just keep the video on 2 different television and watch them. You will see they are people of the same age, but the texture of the skin is not the same. That means human being is subject to evolution. Even our skin, even our mind, our education, everything grows. So if we have grown beyond certain level of spiritual practices, we have to modernize it. That does not mean the one that we were doing before was evil. You can't take me that the black and white television was an evil simply because you got a high definition today. No. It's just the high definition is an advancement that has its root from the black and white. That's how the world grows. So don't sit down and think you are excluded from God. No, you are from God. You are a child of God. Nobody should come and say, I'm the one giving you God. Of course, people with advanced knowledge can try to help you. But making you a follower of somebody, a particular religion, is different from giving you the knowledge about God or the nature of living or morality. Those are your basic human rights. It's your right to know. So all those truths that were hidden from our people, we have to bring them back through the activities of the Temple of Harmony in the Grand Assembly of Africa. It will be organized in a way that it can never interrupt your activities. You have the time to do a lot of things. So thank you for today, and support our initiative for building the new Africa. We once again let you know that our activities is not subject to government control. The only people we are listening to is the Supreme Masters, who have delegated us with knowledge and possibility of building a new Africa. And we are not expecting anybody to interrupt us. Whatever we see is necessary in Africa. There is nothing today that is more important in this continent than to restore the continent to prominence. So whatever thing you are doing, please make sure that in your mind, restoring Africa is the first priority. Thank you, and let me stop here. And may God bless you.